Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
So, we aren't even at the halfway point of the season. The Flyers have played 40 games, and they have two 10-game losing streaks. 10 in a row, again, for the second time this season. And it just doesn't... I didn't feel like it could have gotten worse after AV was fired, but it's officially worse. Like, they were so bad tonight, so deflated, and Cam Atkinson said it postgame. They had no jump, no pop on the bench, and it sure seemed that way for most of the game. Way too many stretches of play. Again, it's the same things that are killing them over and over and over again. It's like last year all over again. And it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And when Gary Mayhew looked like your best forward in this game, and I am not just saying that because he scored, he legitimately looked like their best forward for good parts of this game. That is a problem. And, you know, it just sucks. It really does. Everything that is going wrong with this team can go wrong. And let's talk about the lines and at least most of the game. So, lines are pretty much the same. Obviously, big night. Jake Voracek comes back for the first time. I'm going to talk about that at the end because that was one of the highlights of my night, and I just want to get talking about this game over with. Then I'll talk about Jake. So, lines for this game: Farabee, Drew, Atkinson, Lindblom, Lawton, Konecny, Van Riemsdyk, Frost, Mayhew, Willman, Butterman, McEwen. Defense: Provia, Braun, York, Sanheim, Yandel, Ristolainen. Flyers had a bunch of power plays in this game. One in the first, and they had a handful throughout the really just throughout the game overall. And it was just way too many times where the power play looked good last game, where they were at least able to maybe get some plays to the net, some shots. They ended up scoring a power play goal last game against the Islanders, and tonight it was a total flip-flop. They could not do jack on the power play tonight. They couldn't get anything set up. Their zone entries were bad. Their breakouts, if they couldn't, it felt like for most of this game the Flyers couldn't even make a tape-to-tape pass. So in the first period, it was very boring through most of the first. Each team basically traded one-way chances throughout the first period. There was a couple for both teams. Lawton had probably one of the Flyers' best chances. Provorov had one where Lincoln took one in the mask. And that was pretty much it. I mean, it really wasn't much going on in that first period. There was also a chance for Atkinson off the rush that ended up going wide, but that was really it as well. Second period, Jackets had an early extended shift in the Flyer zone. Hart had no stick, cycled and cycled. Voracek on the ice, Werenski, their top line with Line A, and also top defensive pair, and then they were just cycling around, and it was 1-0, but that goal was challenged for goaltender interference. No goal was called off. Texe basically bumped into Hart, and he fell over, and they ended up scoring, but ends up getting called off. So Atkinson had a chance in close, really nice pass by Giroux there. Atkinson on the backhand. Mayhew had a nice take to the net, really nice save by Merzlikins. He had a great game tonight for Columbus. Blue Jackets get a power play, Flyers were very patient, kept everything to the outside. Voracek had a shot on net, but that was pretty much it. Willman ended up hustling, almost created something out of nothing, but that was pretty much it. And it was really all Blue Jackets in the second for the most part. Then they get a power play, being Columbus, triple McEwen. Nothing really crazy for the Blue Jackets. Pretty good kill there from the Flyers. And then Columbus would end up getting back that first goal. Bjorkstrand would score. It was a turnover on the breakout. And Columbus scores to make it 1-0. Goes backhand on Hart. Flyers had a push after that. Handful of chances. Farabee had a quality chance. Ended up passing it back to Ristolainen, but that was pretty much it as well. And the Flyers were really all over it in the last handful of minutes. A couple missed calls late. Lawton ends up having a scrap. Flyers get a power play on a double rough. Couple passes. Again, not really much going on in the power play. It was pretty useless tonight, honestly. So going into the third, Flyers find themselves down 1. They ended up having one chance on the remaining 27 seconds of that power play, but it was just a Giroux kind of little backhander in front, but it wasn't anything crazy, and that was pretty much it. So Blue Jackets get a power play on a slash. or excuse me, the Flyers get a power play. Line with the slash. And that was easily the worst power play of this game. Couldn't get anything set up. Zone entries, every single thing. I think they lost every power play faceoff they had, and they just could not get anything going. It was absolutely useless tonight. It was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And then Voracek wins a puck battle. Jenner out to line A in the top of the circle, rips one past Carter Hart, and that would end up being the game winner. Blue Jackets then get a power play, so it looked like this game was really going to open up in the worst of ways for the Flyers. And it was Flyers had a pretty good shift there after that. They again had a handful of chances, and then Mayhew scores. Gary Mayhew scores his first goal as a Flyer, just throws it to the net. And I'm thinking to myself, as Mayhew's just kind of just carrying it along, because the Flyers had a pretty good shift going. And I said, just throw it to the net, throw it to the net, throw it to the net. Turns, shoots, finds the net, and it's 2-1. And they ended up pulling the goalie. Couldn't really get much going. Hopefully there isn't anything wrong with Giroux. I know he dove there at the end to try to save the game from not being 3-1 with the empty netter, and looked like he was kind of hunched over with his wrist. So hopefully Giroux is okay and doesn't have to deal with any sort of injury, because that would just make everything even more worse. But yeah, absolutely brutal game from the Flyers tonight, and I don't even know what else you could really expect at this point, but let's talk about more of a positive thing. Jake Voracek. I have the Czech Republic jersey on. I wore that to the game, and I went down to the Blue Jackets side and ended up snagging a picture of Jake. Here it is. It was a great moment, honestly. It was amazing. Jake, it was great. I mean, the guy's been my favorite Flyer for a long time. He was my favorite player here. It was just unbelievable. It made my night. It made the game better, and I was honestly... I wasn't even that mad that the Flyers even lost, because I was so excited about seeing Jake and everything, and being there with my dad to share that moment with my dad and all that stuff. So that was really cool. And yeah, Jake, thank you. If you're watching this, thank you for the picture and everything like that. It was awesome, and yeah, it was unbelievable to see that when I tweeted it. It kind of had a lot of likes on Twitter when I last looked, so that's awesome too. Thank you guys for the support there, and also to the kid that I saw when I was in line getting myself a soda. Thank you, because you also made my night asking for a picture. That was very cool, so thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, look, the Flyers are not playing well right now, but yeah, it's been it's been very, very tough. We're not even again, as I said, we're not even at the halfway point mathematically, and they are literally 10-game losing streaks in one season. I didn't even know that was possible. Last team that did it was the 2010-11 Avalanche. So yeah, but remember, you can check out Butt Ends. You can use code PHI for 10% off anything on the site there. SeatGeek, $20 off your first order with code FlyersFanMania, all capital letters, and Garrett Group Construction for any home improvement needs. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you all again soon.